stay at home, stay at home, stay indoors, but you guys won't listen. What did you say? They don't have light? Oh, you guys don't have light. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, please shift to a corner. Just shift to a corner so I'll get the government. Government, give them light. Give them light. You won't give them light. Oh. Are they still there? So they all got the slap. Do they keep the minimum distance? What about public gathering? No? Personal hygiene? What about face mask? They don't really keep to all these rules, do they? Okay then, they can take the slap. While some countries are experiencing an increase in the number of COVID-19 infections, some countries are experiencing a decrease in the number of infections. In countries like Austria and Germany, the federal and state government have agreed to cautiously relax restrictions. For example, many shops are allowed to open, but with strict conditions. So, with this piece of information, I'd like to motivate other countries, my African people, and especially my country, Nigeria. In my previous video, I said most African leaders just like to copy the things they see happen in Europe. They copy this and then they paste it in their country. But in most cases, this does not turn out to be effective. I don't want African leaders to copy what they see and hear happen in other countries. But what I want them to do is to listen, see what happens in other countries, and then they should learn from this. And why? Because the system here in Europe is different. The economic status, in other words, the standard of living is different. And that is why the measures these African leaders adopt, the means by which they implement these measures in order to curb the spread of this virus must not be the same. There are some African leaders doing a good job, and I'm pleased to know that. But how I wish I can tell the world about our leaders in Nigeria, and how I wish all African leaders would step up their game. The battle against COVID-19 is not over yet, but the way we see it, the Germans already have this situation under control because the number of new cases that they have has drastically reduced. In total, they have about 158,142 cases with 5,985 deaths, and that is today as I make this video. And with this performance, when you compare that with what other countries have done, I would say that the German medical system is A1. Starting from today, schools in Germany may gradually begin, but with full effect as from the 4th of May. However, in compliance with the normal hygiene regulations. In order for the Germans not to jeopardize the success which they have achieved until now, the government decides that these contact restrictions be maintained. And that is a minimum distance of 1.5 meters between people. And you get to see some people say 2 meters, you know, to be on the safe side. Still, public gatherings are not allowed. You are allowed to be with one member who is not a part of the family household, or you are allowed to be seen outside with members of the same household. And talking about personal care, service companies such as cosmetic studios and massage practices, tattoo studios and similar companies, with the exception of hairdressers, remain closed. The use of face masks in public, like buses, trains, supermarkets, has been made compulsory beginning from today. However, I believe there are disadvantages that accompany the use of face masks, medically and practically, and this I'll talk about in an upcoming video. I see that the numbers of cases are intensifying in most African countries, but I want African leaders to believe that there is something they can do about this in order to reduce the number of cases. Still, there are so many Africans who do not believe that people are dying as a result of this virus. I see such in Nigeria, in Kenya, and some other African countries. But I do not blame these people, because how do you expect them to believe when they are not educated And how do you expect them to believe when the government has not provided them with electricity and all other necessary infrastructures to enable them educate themselves? But wait, I heard the Nigerian government is proposing lifting up the lockdown. Wait a minute. We had about 100 cases or so, and then the lockdown was enforced. And now we have over 1,000 cases. And then, no more lockdown? To me, this here sounds like a trial and error method. And you do not do this when dealing with lives. The lockdown works when the government has made everything available for the people, everything they need. And it can also work without a lockdown. But this time, the government has got work to do. That depends on how the government sensitizes the people. And my advice for Nigerians is, if this gets to happen, please do comply with the regulations which I mentioned at the beginning. In order to compare how it has been during the lockdown in Germany with other countries, I was able to gather a couple of videos from friends who I call co-correspondents, just like Barrister Mike would say, my co-correspondent. So, correspondent Lekan, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, what do you have to say?
This is the popular Akewele Road. No movement anywhere. You can see only few cars going to get some stuff. We are moving to another street now.
Ha! He just told the guy with the camera that he would also like to be on camera too. That's very funny.
This is the popular Ogulano Drive. Still locked down. Still locked down. You could go for shopping to get your food stuff and you come back. Still locked down, as you can see. As you can see. So we are moving to another street now. Oyekon.
Okay, correspondent Lekan, I have seen, okay? Do you have something else to show us, please?
Well, as you can see.
Yeah, I can see.
There are a few cars passing by. These are the ones going to the supermarket or anywhere. This used to be the busy Ojuelegba Road, as you can see.
Yeah, that's true. On a normal day, this road is always jam-packed, always filled up. Next will be my younger brother with the American accent, correspondent Yinka, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria too.
So unfortunately, you're going to hear the sound of the generator because there is no light right now. Unfortunately, the government isn't giving us light, but as you can see, the street is actually empty. On a normal day, you see lots of cars packed around. Whole lot of cars packed around, but nobody is actually around. It's just a very few either driving to the pharmacy or trying to get food or something.
And now we come to correspondent Ini, all the way from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nigeria. Correspondent Ini.
All right. This is actually Sun City Estate in FCT Abuja, and you can see how dry the street is by this time. There's actually nothing happening. Guys are just taking advantage of the stay at home to actually exercise. You can see the guy on the right there who is actually just walking out. A couple of other people have just gone by too, but this is a very, very busy estate. This estate has over 2,500 houses in here, and that is to tell you that there will be over or about 10,000 residents in this estate compared to other estates around here. This is really a very busy estate, and it's quiet at this time. This is actually 21 right now, and trust me, this is dry. This is dry. Nothing is happening anywhere, and I think this is the way to actually tackle this pandemic right here in Nigeria, because we're actually not used to things like this. But again, staying at home is the best thing. You could see even people walking, they're actually practicing social distance as well. So this is just how it is. I mean, instead of staying at home and adding so much weight, I think it's not bad just coming out and all of that, just doing a little walk with the family and friends. You can see I think this is the only bike just going by.
Next will be correspondent Mohammed, all the way from Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Come!
I believe that young man is being punished for not staying at home, for breaching the lockdown, maybe.
What you get? Well, allow me to go. Well, I'm able to go. No.
Still in Sierra Leone, we see the young man being asked to wash his hands, to get his hands disinfected before he's allowed on the bike. Quite interesting.
Yeah. What's the first one? The don't talk out. They are bike. Yes, because I'm like, this is the one all. It's not my politics, so. Okay, don't lock me, bro. Yeah, I don't lock. Thank you.
And here another innovation coming from Sierra Leone.
Put the soap here, na the soap tank, and here na the water tank. Where posse he come out before he enter na me hose. You see this pedal? You dey massa. Slowly, you turn the soap. You go see say you no go touch nothing. He say you no get for touch nothing under. Now this pedal you dey take the foot, the massa slow. Then you go see the water dey turn. Then you wash the hand fine one.
Now taking you down to Egypt, where the first COVID-19 case was confirmed on the continent of Africa. This will just be a short video by correspondent Katerina. And now taking you to England, all the way from Colchester, Essex, correspondent Marin. Hi.
Hi Ola, hi Julia. This is Marin. I'm doing a video recording for you of a walk in my neighbourhood. It's a bit rural, so you won't see many people. And it'll be a bit boring, so I'm not going to commentate the whole way. This is coming up to a bit more of a main road. And look.
Now a video from Deutschland, which is the German word for Germany. Coming to you from a city called Bonn. That's a bus. It's quite empty. A short stop at the supermarket now to get some foodstuffs. The sign says, for your security, maximum of 25 people, and you can only go in with a trolley. They provided just 25 trolleys, and that way they know the numbers of customers present in the store. So if you come and you don't find a trolley, then you cannot come in. You just wait until the next customer comes out. Now going down to another store, you can see they already have the maximum amount of customers in that store, and that's why we have to wait outside. It is also very obvious that we avoid close contacts. After watching the video, it is obvious that the most spectacular video of all these videos was shot in Africa, and that's because the governments in Africa are spectacular. Like many others, why do I point a finger at the government. Some people say the masses, the ordinary and common people, are the problem, that they are evil and they have to change. But I do not agree with this. But hold on, I know the people all have to work on themselves. However, I believe the government has to be fixed first. I do not dispute the fact that there are some well-behaving people who also work with the government. I know some of them. But here is the problem. The system is bad, and the government is in charge of the system. My ideology is, when we have a good government, then we will have good people. And I'll break it down more clearly why I believe that the government should be fixed first in an upcoming video. The country is bad. This is not a curse. It's just the truth. But one thing I know is we can change the country. But before we focus on changing the country, let us join hands to change the present situation. First, we need a target, and once we've hit that target, then we can focus on another target. Put a stop to this pandemic. Develop yourselves. Gather all energy. Gather all aggressions which these present events have brought your way. All your courage, because you all will definitely need these things as soon as the pandemic is gone by. You will need them to change the nation. Together, we are definitely going to change this nation. Believe, and while you believe, do not forget to keep all precautionary measures. So, hit the subscribe button. Bless you all.